Hello, hopefully everyone is hanging in there. I know the astrology this past week has been a little bit difficult. We are going through a Mercury retrograde, which will end May 7th, finally, thank God. So it's been really challenging for a few people, including myself. So I know how you feel. Now, this Friday, May 5th, there's going to be a full moon. And it's going to be an eclipse, a lunar eclipse in Scorpio. So as we know, Scorpio is a very intense sign. My Mars is in Scorpio, my Saturn is in Scorpio. You should take a look at your chart and see where Scorpio is in your chart and what house it's in. For me, it is the 8th house, and Scorpio actually rules the 8th house. So the 8th house is one of regeneration. It's also a house of conditional relationship, and it's also a house in regards to your happiness connected to your sense of abundance. So if something isn't bringing you joy or happiness, it might be affecting your abundance or even your mindset about abundance as well. So on the subject of conditional relationship, we can also talk about relationships with ourselves. We can talk about conditional relationships with other people, narratives about conditional relationships, shoulds and shouldn'ts, and how we are going to transmute those narratives of the shoulds and shouldn'ts to yes and, or yes but and. So two things can exist at the same time, and there is a transformation through realization during this eclipse, okay? And it's one where we're being asked to release and let go, especially when it comes to expectations or dealing with conditional relationships. If things aren't working, if there is a loss on the horizon and you can sort of feel it, I would lean into this feeling of letting go and releasing, because this full moon, as you know, most full moons, when we do work with full moons, it is about the release. But this isn't necessarily just a release, a complete letting go or a severing of cords or anything like that. This is more so a transmutation or a regeneration. So allowing some of these older narratives to die to make way for that yes, but, and. So something new can evolve, such as a lotus from the muddy water, okay? So to use that analogy. So I chose a couple cards. I chose 3 cards as medicine on how to get through this this eclipse, this full moon in Scorpio, which is always one that brings about deep emotions, and also can deal with things being very tender at this point in time. So how do we deal with these tender emotions? How can we see the other side of this eclipse about what we're letting go of and what it's going to bring for us? And I have really good news. These 3 cards are extremely beneficial. I think the more we can lean into this letting go, we can bring in this Ace of Cups. And this is the Botticelli Tarot. I don't know if you can see, but there's like gold on the deck, so there's some gold gilding. It's really beautiful. The Ace of Cups, as you can see, there's like a Madonna and child here. So there's a sacred birthing that's going to take place through this letting go, and it's also widening your emotional cup. So the ability to feel pain, the ability to grieve, the ability to move through these uncomfortable feelings is actually going to widen your cup. It's going to allow more love in. It's going to allow you to feel some of these more uncomfortable feelings. And in that discomfort, you're going to be able to let in some of these more important, necessary connections or communications that are going to be had. I just noticed that this plant kind of looks like my hair. So, and it's funny too, because there's like a plant coming out of this you know, the top of this Madonna's head as well. So I feel very much in my element with that. So yeah, a new birth, rebirth, also sacred birth. So in letting go of some of these like old narratives or things that don't necessarily serve you, you're actually you're making room for something like brand new and beautiful, which is great. And you know, our second card is the sun. So, you know, the sun brings abundance. Once we let go of the things that are no longer making us happy or giving us joy, or that are really aligned with the purpose that we've chosen in our lives, then the sun comes in. And the sun, I mean, we're always held when the sun is in a reading. The sun is also synonymous with growth. So this eclipse will bring on expansive growth and quick growth. So we're going to learn a lot in a short period of time. This is also a period of time where we can feel held and we can know that abundance is there to support us. So the sun is also symbolized not just by the sun, but also by Jupiter, which is a benefic planet. And it's currently in Aries. So the more aligned that you get to yourself, the more that you're actually going to receive that abundance. And I don't necessarily just mean financial abundance. I also mean resource as well. So really, there are a lot of really good, nurturing, healthy things coming, which is, it just feels really good for me to say that. And then, you know, our last card is the Chariot. So this is actually the sun. Before I move on, you can see that gold too. And as you can see, that child is like very held. So we can be held in our vulnerability at this point in time too, which the Ace of Cups sort of symbolizes. Like the more we widen our cup and the more we start exercising some of these narratives or conversations or feelings that are uncomfortable, we're actually going to receive the benefit from being vulnerable. And then we have this beautiful Chariot card. So, you know, this eclipse is really going to bring some good things starting in Cancer season. Cancer is synonymous with the Chariot. Mars is currently in Cancer. And, you know, Mars in Cancer is a very using your feelings as a compass type of vibration. So we're using our feelings as a compass, and we're moving through this week and this eclipse with more focus than ever, especially when we are focused on the things that will level us up. So keeping that focus on leveling up, keeping that focus on what you really want to express and what you want to go after. Again, you might have to redefine your purpose during this point in time. I feel like your purpose is just whatever your focus is, or whatever you want to create at this time. So I just want to be able to give you the message that it's totally possible, and that you can level up, you can open up, and you will be held through the process. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully this resonated. Have a very transformative, restorative full moon eclipse in Scorpio. Take care.